How's it going, everyone? So I'm Brendan, work for MOTU. You're at the MOTU booth at NAMM 2020, and we're here to talk about two new audio interfaces from MOTU that we introduced about a month and a half ago, called the M2, a 2-in, 2-out USB bus-powered interface, and the M4, a 4-in, 4-out USB bus-powered interface. So we're going to go through some of the similarities, some of the differences, and as well as some of the things that it comes with. So let's start out by looking at the front and back panel. So here's the front, the M2 on top and the M4 on the bottom. As you can see, really on the left-hand side, they're virtually identical. Two mic line guitar combo jacks with individual 48-volt phantom power control, individual monitor control, as well as individual gain pots for each input. So you don't really find this on interfaces in this class, the full independent support of each input, and we really give that to you on the M2 and M4. On the right-hand side, you can see a big monitor knob for your monitor outs, as well as an independent headphone control knob. And you can see that beautiful LED display. On the top, the M2 reflecting the 2-in, 2-out, and on the bottom, the M4 reflecting the additional 2 inputs and outputs for 4-in and 4-out. You can also see the input monitor mix knob on the M4. That's one thing that differentiates the M4 from the M2, is there's an input monitor mix knob where you can turn the input to the left to monitor the live input and turn it to the right to monitor the playback from the computer. You can really blend it to find that perfect mix for when you're monitoring off the hardware. So the M2 and M4 front panel. On the back side, again on the left-hand side, virtually identical. We have the USB-C bus-powered port. We have MIDI I/O, which is awesome, a Kensington lock, and of course a power switch. Again, something not very common on interfaces of this class. I personally love having a power switch because I don't always want my interface to be powering up with my computer, so I can choose when I want to have it powered on or powered off. And on the right-hand side, you can see the M2 has the stereo output, quarter-inch outputs, as well as RCA outputs that are mirrored. And of course, the M4, those additional line inputs on the far right, the additional line outputs, and then it's basically the same with the monitor outs and the reflected RCA outputs. So that is the hardware on the M2 and the M4. Now, when we talk about the M2 and M4, we're talking about best-in-class audio quality, best-in-class speed, and best-in-class metering, because we truly believe that this is the best in its class. So let's start with the audio quality. We are using the same DAC chip that we're using on our $1,500 interface line of products like the 1248, the 828 ES, the 8 Pre ES. So you're getting the same quality on the M2 and M4 that you are on those high-end interfaces. You're getting 120 dB of dynamic range on the monitor outs, and this chip also exists on the headphone outs. So I really encourage you to go over and listen to it. We have plenty of them set up on this hammer station right over there, and feel free to try it out after this presentation. The ESS Sabre 32 DAC on the M2 and M4. We're also talking about best-in-class speed. So what do I mean? We're talking about round-trip latency. So with our driver, we've narrowed it down to 2.5 milliseconds of round-trip latency at 96 kilohertz and the 32 sample buffer. So that means when you talk into your microphone into the M2 or M4, and it goes down the USB cable into your DAW software running on your computer, where you're maybe monitoring through effects like reverb or compression or EQ, whatever it may be, and when it goes back out the USB cable into the M2 or M4 and into your speakers or headphones, that whole round trip only takes 2.5 milliseconds with our driver. All right, so it's very impressive for an interface in this class. Now, these are class compliant on Mac, so every interface, including the M2 and M4 that's class compliant, running in that state is going to have 4.5 milliseconds of round trip latency. When you install that optional Mac driver or the mandatory PC driver, it goes down to 2.5 milliseconds, and you can kind of see a comparison of all the other interfaces in this class. Still not getting down as close as MOTU's M2 and M4. And lastly, best-in-class metering. There is no other interface in its class right now that has those beautiful LED screens where you can really dial in the inputs and check your output levels. They change in real time when you're adjusting them. You're lucky to get maybe a peak indicator, a glow ring, or a ladder meter. This beautiful LED display gives you the ability to see in real time where your levels are set to. So best-in-class audio quality, best-in-class speed, and best-in-class metering with the M2 and the M4. So again, we have the individual 48-volt phantom power. USB-C bus powered, a power switch, mono and stereo monitoring, meaning it can monitor in mono if you just plug in a single microphone, or if you're monitoring two microphones, or maybe a keyboard, or something that needs two inputs, you can hard pan them left and right for stereo monitoring. DC coupled outputs like all MOTU interfaces, which is great for voltage stuff, and Eurorack units. Loopback, which is a driver feature of ours. So for people that are streaming or people that are recording podcasts or whatever it may be, you're able to pull the computer audio and bring it right back into the computer. So maybe you're playing something from YouTube or Spotify or something on your computer, and you want to record it with the microphones that are plugged into the M2 or M4. We allow you to do that very easily with the driver software. Standalone operation. If you just plug one of these into a USB wall wart, you're going to be able to get basically a standalone mic preamp or something for your line level equipment and distribute it to the outputs. So if you're going to a gig and there's not a computer, you can plug one of these into a USB port that's just in a wall wart, and you have basically a mic preamp. Bundled DAWs, VIs, and loops, which we're going to get into in a minute. It's built right here in the USA. We're based out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's built right down the road from us. And of course, a 2-year warranty on both the M2 and the M4. It's easy and simple. We want people to open this package up and just get going. You could take this out of the packaging and just plug it into your computer if you're running a Mac, and you'll be on your way to making music. However, if you want to read the top of the box, it will point you to this website here. This is just the top part of it, where you can have in-depth tutorial videos if you're a Mac user, a PC user, and how to get started, how to get the driver software installed, how to use the monitoring functions of the M2 and the M4, how to install the DAW software, some tips and tricks on how to get started recording. We want to make this as easy as possible for people that may maybe not be so inclined in terms of DAW use or engineering or mixing. We want you to just be able to pull this out of the box and feel comfortable getting started recording and making music. And of course, we are including production software, some virtual instruments, loops, and sounds. We are including Ableton Live Lite. So if you go out today and just purchase an M2 or an M4, you're going to get Ableton Live Lite. You're also going to get Performer Lite, which is a new DAW from MOTU, which we're going to get into that in a second. And of course, for people that love Performer Lite, we'll be able to have an upgrade path for you to DP10 or the next version of DP. Okay. So this is a screenshot of Performer Lite. Of course, you can see it's just a more streamlined UI. We have MIDI clips and tracks, the content browser, but we've simplified the control panel, created a new theme that's a little bit more new and simplistic. Again, a lot of the same great things that make DP an awesome DAW to use, but just a little bit more streamlined and simplified for a new user. I mean, new users can use this, people that are experienced. We are just reimagining Performer and giving it to you to use with your M2 or M4. If you're just getting started or you need just some quick inspiration, we're including tons of new templates so that when you plug your M2 or M4 in and you open the program, if you're a songwriter, you get pre-created tracks with different guitar and vocal effects on them, vocals, guitar tones, keyboards, hip-hop, jazz. I mean, it's just going to keep growing. And of course, all these demos you can basically open up, press play, and you're already hearing music, you're hearing yourself, and it just gets you writing songs quicker. Full MIDI support, of course. This is the new clip editor, which we introduced in DP10, also in Performer, as well as the clips window for triggering and launching clips, okay? So this all comes in Performer Lite. And we're also including 100 plus multi-sampled VIs. So we have a ton of virtual instruments, your bread and butter sounds, some ethnic instruments, some orchestral stuff, where you really, again, you plug in your M series, your M2 or M4, you open up Performer Lite, and you're making music right away. We want to make sure that people that are maybe don't have all the third-party VIs, all the samples, all the loops, that they can just start making music right away. So these are the new M2 and M4 interfaces for MOTU. Again, the M2, the 2-in, 2-out, and the M4, the 4-in, 4-out, USB-C audio interfaces. And here's just a quick little look at Performer here. Again, that streamlined UI, a beautiful new theme with the control panel obviously reimagined and a little more simplified. The content browser on the right-hand side with the set list, or chunks as you might know it in DP, where you can house multiple sequences and VRACs and stuff. And you can just check it out here. Clips and tracks. Again, guys, I mean, this really gets you just up and running really quickly. This is one of the demos that when you open up the program, it just starts playing back, and you're starting to make music right away. And that's really it from me. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. From MOTU Saturday, we're almost there. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.